Okay. So I'm doing it this morning so I can go ahead and get part 4 done. Hopefully I'll be able to get part 4 and part 5 done. For those of you who are following along, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop those below after this is posted. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into part 4. Part 3 left off where my husband and his friends were actually walking down the street, and I was excited because he remembered me. So now we are moving to, I want to say it probably was my sophomore year, and I had just turned old enough to work. So my first real paying job that paid me like an actual paycheck, it was Scott's Foods. So Scott's Foods used to be one of the predominant grocery stores here in Indiana. It was family ran, and the headquarters was over on North Clinton. So Mr. Scott had hired a lot of kids in the high school to work there, and one of the things that Scott did was that it taught us customer service. It taught us how to communicate with people, how to communicate with each other, how to use critical thinking skills, math skills, and everything. Because Scott used to utilize not just like your Sunday morning coupons, but also your cutouts from the newspaper. When Scott would post their ad, people could go ahead and say cut out those cutouts and use those as they grocery shopped at Scott's. So I was a cashier, and I remember this one day particularly. I was working, and one of my co-workers, it was a bunch of us girls, bunch of us cashiers were out in the atrium area. This particular day, she was like, oh my God, you know who's working here as a bagger? And then the other girls was like, who? It was like, she said, oh my gosh, she said, Sean Fritz. It was like, oh, I saw him. She said, yeah, you know Sean Fritz. She said, the light-skinned boy with the green eyes. She said, oh my God, I can't believe that he's working here. So as she was saying that, because so Scott that I worked at, it was over on Decatur Road. So over there, so if you're here in Fort Wayne right now, it's City Church. So they're in the when you go inside Scott's, there was like a Mr. Steve's rental center. He had the furniture store, and then there was the entryway for the grocery store, like the carts and things. So this particular day, we were sitting by the Mr. Steve's area, and she's like, oh my God. And so she said, April, don't you know Sean Fritz? I'm looking at her, straight face, everything. No. Who is he? You don't know Sean Fritz? No. Who is he? She said, oh my God, I can't believe that you don't know him. No, I don't know him. So then she goes and gives another description of Sean Fritz. And I'm like, okay. So a little later, I noticed that as he was working, because I was a cashier, he was a bagger, he will go all the way down to the other lanes, and he'll bag all the other cashiers' groceries, and he'll stare at me the whole entire time. I'll have a lane full of groceries, and he's just staring at me the whole entire time. So I'll get frustrated and irritated because I had customers with a lot of coupons, a lot of cutouts, and he just staring at me the whole time. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I was irritated. So I finally walked up on him one day, and I told him, I said, I'm mad at you. He's like, you mad at me? I said, yeah, I'm mad at you. Well, why are you mad at me? Because you won't do your job. I'm mad at you because you won't come bag my groceries. You walk right past my lane and you see I need help and you won't come and bag my groceries. Oh, so you want me to come bag your groceries? Yes, I want you to come and do your job. Come and bag my groceries. So my cousin decides that he wants to walk up and he wants to have a conversation. I literally dismissed my cousin and told him that me and my husband, me and Sean was having a conversation and he needed to leave. My cousin told me he had to talk to Sean. Well, my mom was there to pick me up, so I left. But I was still agitated. So yes, Sean did later come bag my groceries. And it was so funny because my customers would be like, oh, you know, Sean is a comedian. He loves to tell jokes. So even then he would be telling jokes. And then there would be some times where he would not come bag my groceries. And then I have customers like, why he didn't come bag your groceries? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'll get irritated again. And they be like, and so they'll catch him staring my way. Oh, he likes you. He should like you because you're a pretty girl, which irritated me even more. I'm like, okay, whatever. So this went on for a while. There was a girl there. She used to work with my mom at what we call, it was one of our buffets here called MCL. I'm not going to give her name, but because, like, even though I liked my husband back then, I still saw him for who he was, and we wasn't in a relationship or anything, so whatever he did, he did. Now, I did have a little high school boyfriend, and he had a girlfriend, but that didn't live here in Fort Wayne, so I was like his Fort Wayne girlfriend. So when she would come here, he would spend his time with her. I was okay with that. No harm, no foul. So there's one particular day, some of our friends supposed to have came to Scott's, and all Sean and all of them was outside. So later she comes, because she's working her lane, but she comes back in. She said that her car was broken into. I don't know what happened. I don't remember any details. I don't know if I asked her what happened. But me and the girl was cool. But she said that she thinks she knows what happened. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to leave it there. But shortly after, my husband was no longer working at Scott's. And I thought I would no longer see him anymore. But I did fool myself because I did see him again. So you want to come back for part 5. All right, I'm off to work. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. And if you like this love story, go ahead and comment 90s love story. Bye.